Hi, y'all. There's actually two bees flying around here. As long as they don't bother me, I won't bother them. They're right here around the camera, but I'm going to keep an eye on them while we chat. How are y'all doing today? It's Monday. I was starting to say good morning because I usually do my videos, sometime towards the morning time, but it's actually afternoon. I have been out to town today and I had to go to Walmart, and that's just a chore right there. Just going to one store, especially Walmart, but I had some other things to do and some errands, and that took most of the day. So I come back home and, we unloaded what we had got and I put it up. And so by the time you get doing all that, you're just tired and wore out. And I just didn't feel like getting into anything else today because it's not going to be too long before it's supper time. But I decided to come out and sit on the porch swing for a few minutes just to relax and everything. And I thought I would just chat with you all while I'm out here. But I brought out my devotional books because we left early this morning and I didn't have time to read my devotions. So I've got three. I brought three out here that I was just looking through to see which one I wanted to read. And these three books, my friend Tracy from Cova's Cattail, she actually sent me these books probably a couple months ago, and I really love them. She sent me three devotional books, and I have been reading in them just about every morning or every other morning. I try to read in my Bible too. And so Tracy, I've been loving my books. So I was sitting out here, and I think the one I read before I turned the camera on to chat with you all was Promises for Every Day. And I've got my bookmarks, everything here where I've been reading. And one I just read a few minutes ago was, it was in the section called Peace. And it said, "May the Lord of peace himself give you peace at all times in every way." 2 Colossians 3:16. So that's a comfort to me. God is the God of peace. And, he can give us peace in everything that we go through. And we can find peace in everything every day. There's something we can find peace in, no matter what we go through or what trials. We just need to give them to God and hand them over to Him, and He'll give us peace. Sometimes, I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone probably about a week ago, and I said, it's not always our way in our time. God has His own time that He moves, and I know sometimes that we'll walk in a long valley or go through a long trial, and sometimes we want to question and say, God, I'm here, I'm still here. I ask you for this and everything, but He hears us. He heard us the first time that we prayed, and He's not forgotten us, and He will never forget us. It's just His time and His own way, and when He moves for us, He's going to move in a mighty way, and we're going to realize, that it was worth waiting. So yeah, I didn't mean to say all that, but I just got off on a roll. But I just wanted to chat with you for a few minutes before I go back into the house and everything. I come home and took what I call my town clothes off and put my just rags on is what I call them. Took my town clothes off, put my rags on, something comfortable that I can just, go in the house in, don't worry when I cook if I get it messed up or whatever. So that's what I do. I got my town clothes on, I got my house clothes on, and so as soon as I get back from town, I take those town clothes off and put my rags on. Do any of y'all do that? You got just special clothes that you wear out to town, but when you get home, you want to be comfortable, and you'll just throw them clothes off and put something comfortable on. I have done that all my life, and I remember when we were young children, we had to come home from school and take our school clothes off. My mom wouldn't let us, just go around in our school clothes. We had to, when we come home from wearing our school clothes, we had to put what we call play clothes on. And we would put our play clothes on, and that way our clothes wouldn't get messed up. Because, I grew up poor, and we couldn't afford a lot of clothes and shoes and just things. And so we had to make do with what we had and take care of our clothes. And we had to take care of anything we had. And so I guess that's always been instilled within me. Take care of what you have. And so when I come home from town or whatever, a doctor's appointment, or just going to town or whatever, I put on, it's not play clothes anymore, I call them house clothes, and just running around the house. So yeah. So what are y'all doing on this Monday? It's really beautiful today. I tell you, it's hot as blazes out here, and it's humid. But you know, I can actually take that pretty good. Now my husband, oh, he just about passes out, you know, in the hot, you know, weather and everything. But where I freeze so much and everything, it feels good to me for, you know, for a good while. But I do realize when it's hot outside. But you know, we have air conditioner on inside, and I just freeze, and I have to come out and warm up. And in the stores, they freeze me to death, and so I wear a light sweater, cardigan, or something in the stores. So, you know, it feels good to me to come out and sit in the heat for a while. But like I said, after a while, you know, it does get to me and I have to go in. I'm actually not supposed to be out in a lot of heat for, you know, I got some autoimmune conditions and everything that does not do well in the heat. And I'm not supposed to be out in full sun because I'll start getting what they call a malar rash, a butterfly rash going across my face, and that's due to the lupus and everything. And then I'll start feeling really bad and drained, and then, you know, my joints and muscles and all that kind of stuff will hurt me. But I just love, you know, being out on my porch swing. So when the sun's not out full on me, I will sit out here, and when it is full, I'll go to the opposite side of the porch and sit in one of my wicker chairs and everything. So yeah. So what have y'all been up to this weekend? For me, I did a little bit this weekend. I really didn't do a whole lot. I recorded a couple stories, but I'm not, I got to edit them, and I need to, you know, put the images with them. These are the Friday stories and everything. And, you know, that takes a while. You just can't do that all in one day. So I've got to work on that tonight and tomorrow. And I'm recording some more of the Southern Whispers at Night stories. And thank you all for your positive feedback on that. You know, I know that I had started that out as kind of a trial to see how it would go. And it, you know, I'm getting so much positive feedback. So as of now, we're just going to keep on doing the Southern Whispers at night. And like I said, thank you all for all your lovely comments. And you're being so supportive and encouraging to me. I always, you know, thank you for anything any comment that you make. I'm always appreciative of it and everything. So yeah, and I'm working on a little series for the Friday stories. They're going to be about 4 stories in that series. You know, I had always talked about trying a series out, and I'm working on it. And the first story is pretty much done. Like I said, I just need to get it scheduled, and I'm about halfway through the second one, and I could be working on it, you know, next week. And so if I've got the first one all edited and the images made and everything, it may go up this Friday, if it's all done, that is. And I'll talk to you more about it, you know, probably in the video when I drop the story. But I will tell you a little bit. It is stories that are told from a different perspective, and they're going to be fun stories. They'll always have a lesson in them, of course, but I think they'll just be fun, lighthearted stories. So for about 4 weeks, those stories will drop in a series, and you know, each series could be a standalone series, but if you follow the series, I think you'll really have fun with it. So that's what I'm working on. So yeah. So I think that I probably need to quit yapping and get in there and try to figure out something for supper. It'd probably be something light today since I've been out most of the day and I don't feel like making up a big meal today. But, you know, over the weekend I made up some big meals. My husband, he wanted homemade biscuits, so I made gravy with that, and then I fried him up some pork chops. So that was a pretty good meal. And that was actually yesterday, yeah. And Saturday, I can't even remember, but I know it was a pretty decent meal. So today, I think we can skip on it and just make something really light today and go with it, so I can get the kitchen cleaned up and get on with my writing and my editing. So yeah, but just let me know what you've got going on this week, if you got any special plans, or if you're like me, you're just gonna take it day by day and see what you know the day holds. But so I just wanted to chat with you for a few minutes, and yeah, and I also got some new stickers in over the last week or two, and I'm putting them in my sticker book, and I'm going to do another just separate video, and I'll probably have that out next week sometime. And I appreciate the ones that sent me stickers for my story sticker book. And if you got stickers and you want me to put it in my sticker book, I would love and I would be honored to have you in my story sticker book. And I'll send you some of my stickers too. So yeah, so I am going to go, and so hopefully I can get this uploaded tonight. But yeah, so I hope the rest of your Monday is a blessed one. So let's just go into this week. As I always say, let's go with God, and let's go gently, and let's go gracefully. And I love you, my friends. Bye-bye.